Hi folks, another internet purchase. This particular car was purchased from Kazoo, and let me show you a few things that we've discovered, and then maybe you'll think twice about buying a car off the internet without actually physically seeing it in the flesh. So one of the pitfalls of buying a vehicle off the internet is the fact that you can't get in it and you can't smell it. And this particular car has a very strong odour of cigarettes. And as you can see, it has had some wear in the back here. And one of the most unbelievable things that we see is when cheap contract valeters, they're not really valeters, all they are is bloody car wash people, who they have no idea what they're doing. They get no training at all, and they get paid atrociously for doing what they do. So can you see that? That should be a clear lens, but it's actually got carpet dye all over it, and it's a trick that valeters use to try and mask any imperfections in the carpets. So rather than shampoo the carpets and actually remove the dirt, what they do is they just simply dye them, and they get the dye all over the plastics, as you can see there. Okay, and yeah, it's pretty poor, really. But then if you are going to go online and buy a car and it's cheap for a reason. Cheap because they're not using proper cleaners, proper valeters. They're buying these cars cheap because most of them are ex-Motability, and ex-Motability cars usually are smoked in, and there's a bloody great burn mark in the carpet there. Okay, these cars are thoroughly abused by their Motability drivers, and then they go to auction when it's time to give them back, and then people like Kazoo buy them up cheap, and they sell them cheap. So there you go. So carpet dye all over the plastics. Okay, this car, believe it or not, has been valeted. Yeah, right. Okay, well, so what we need to do is we need to do a full interior cleanse on this vehicle to basically to try and remove all traces of the previous owner, and get rid of the offending odour. The customer has actually removed and replaced the cabin filter, and I'll post a picture of that in just a second. So you can see how much rubbish gets poured into the cabin filter through the air conditioning system. All right, we'll come back to this in a bit, and we'll see how it's looking then. It's a shame that you can't smell what I can smell, but there you go. You'll have to take my word for it. It does smell bad. So if you've bought a vehicle and it has a cigarette odour inside it, it could be because the toxins from the cigarettes are still trapped in fabrics, and we use a specific product which can actually release those toxins from fabrics, and I'm just going to demonstrate right now using our products and a clean white towel. And that is all the toxins trapped. And the towel is actually catching that. Okay. There we go. Hi folks, welcome back. The Seat has now been completed. This is the second day. It's taken about 1.5 days to complete. It's had overnight ozone treatment to further cleanse the cabin and the air conditioning system. All the seats have been deep cleaned. we've got right underneath the seats, and it was minging underneath the rear seating, where the valeters just couldn't be bothered to do a decent job. You remember yesterday there was still a lot of crud and everything underneath that rear centre seat there, and we've cleaned all in there. So you know, all that dirt, it all contributes to odour. The worst part of the interior of this vehicle was actually the headlining. It was absolutely caked in toxins from the cigarette smoke, and as we sprayed that blind yesterday, you remember it was just dripping yellow liquid where the micro cleanse was drawing all those toxins away from the fabric. So you know, it doesn't just look cleaner inside the vehicle, it certainly does smell really good, and the ozone and everything has certainly helped to remove the odor. You know, it's little things like the ventilation, all that's clean all around the indicators, the steering wheel, all the high contact areas, and it's disinfected. Everything has been disinfected, and the carpets and fabrics have been sanitized. Okay, so there you go. A lot of work went into this. Unfortunately, on vehicles of this size with that have been smoked in, they do take longer to do than some of the vehicles, but there you go. Hopefully the customer will be happy with this. We're just about to do the handover, so if you do have a problem with an odour problem with a vehicle that you've just purchased, we might be able to help. In most cases, the odour can actually be removed. And to do that, you simply need to visit www.carcleansuk.com.